Welcome to Progressus Multi-Company Transaction Posting video. Progressus Multi-Company is a collaboration with binary stream multi-entity management for project-driven companies. So this will allow project companies to leverage the global dimension to track their projects and generate intercompany transactions as appropriate. The agenda for today is to review timesheet entry and the results of timesheet posting, and expense entry and expense posting to see and understand how the projects show, or how the companies show on each screen, and the results of the posting of these type of transactions. So transaction and data changes that have occurred because of our collaboration with MEM related to resource usage as follows. When a timesheet is created and entered, the user will see the company of the resource in the header of the timesheet. So there's a master company on the resource card, and that drives the company header. Then in the transaction or the detail area of the timesheet, the company of the project is what will default into that area. If the company of the project and the company of the resource are different and GL labor posting occurs, that due to due from transactions will be created at that time. The transactions will flow to the project journal, and the project journal will display them as follows. The resource company will be the batch company, and then the transaction company will represent the project company. So this means that all resource transactions will display in the same batch journal to be approved and posted, making it easier to see the collective transactions for that resource before it is posted. So when the GL posts, if at time of posting the time from the journal, if GL labor posting is turned on, then the following results will occur. So you will get journal entries or general ledger entries as follows. The debit will always flow to the project company, and the credit will always flow to the resource company. If those two companies are different, then you will get intercompany transaction. The project ledger entry will have the company code equal the project company, and MEM owner entity equal the resource company. Here's a screenshot of that information. The company code is the project, and the MEM owner is the resource. Once those transactions for resources flow to invoice suggestions, the invoice suggestion screen will reflect the company of the project. When the sales invoice is created, the AR or the header of the sales invoice will always be the project company, and the credit lines or the detail lines will always be the project company. This means when the project company of the header and the company of the lines are the same, there are no due to due from transactions created when the sales invoice is posted. You can see here the company code. Additionally, if WIP is run for the usage lines, when WIP is run, it will always post to the debit and credit company of the project. Again, when that's the case, there are no due to due from transactions created at the time. For approvals of time, currently there are no restrictions in place other than the current Progressus filters. So project managers see their time, line managers see the time for their resources, and project executives will see time for all companies, for all projects. Master security will be in place to prevent the creation of a project journal if a resource does not have master security for that posting company. Expenses are very similar, but there are some differences. So here you can see the company header, the header of the expense sheet is the resource company, And the transaction line is the project company, just like timesheets. However, when it is an employee paid expense report, meaning a purchase document will be created to the employee from the expense report, then we have to determine how the purchase invoice will be created with which companies. And so the purchase header will have the resource company, and the expense line will always have the project company. This is an example of the purchase invoice, but when it was created, you'll see the resource company in the header and the project company in the transaction line. Company paid are a little different, and a company paid, the concept is that you have a credit card that you're going to reimburse American Express or whoever it might be. And so the company credit card may not be the same as the resource company. So in this instance, the company credit card has a company ID on the master record, and that is the company that's used to create the purchase invoice header. The expense line still follows the project company. So in this example, you'll see that the company credit card had company 200 and the project company had company 100. So when this purchase invoice is posted, the due to, due from transactions will be created. GL payment type is a little different. So this is an instance where no expense report or no purchase document is created, but there will be journal entries that are created when this expense report is posted. In that instance, the debit will always be the project company and the credit will always be the resource company. If those companies are different, then due to, due from transactions will be created at the time the expense report is posted. So in this instance, you can see the debit company of the project was different than the credit company of the resource, and therefore the due to, due from transactions were created. The payment GL payment type, debit credit accounts are defined in the project expense posting setup. You can also enter expenses manually in the expense journal. And so we want to identify what rules are followed when an expense journal is entered. So the same rules are followed as the expense report. The debits and the credits occur the same. You can get intercompany if the project and resource company are different. And again, the sales invoice will debit the project company and credit the project company. And the WIP posting will debit and credit the project company as well. Expense approvals are the same as time approvals. Currently, there are no restrictions in place. The project managers see their projects, line managers see their resources, and project executives see all time across all companies and all projects. When the expenses flow to the journal screen, it will flow to the resource company will be the header, the batch, and the project company will be in the detail line again, so that someone who's posting can see all the transactions for a specific resource within the same expense journal. Thank you for joining us and watching this video. If you want to learn more about Progressus multi-company, please use these codes to find more information.